Hi. So I'm going to do something a bit brave. And I know that you guys have been privy to some of my other diagnostics, some of them which weren't even my diagnostics because they were just misdiagnosed for other things like ADHD or borderline, all things that I didn't really have at all. So um, in previous videos, I might have said things that indicated pretty much to some pretty clearly what it is that I have in terms of a diagnosis or a conceptual towards what this is. But not all of you figured that one out. And I know that a lot of you were worried, and I get that. And, I know that looking back at the videos, it was, I don't want to overly look back at that, actually. One of them I deleted, and I'm going to be remaking with a better ability to positively and in less of a dissociative state make that same message. So I would still like to kind of go into an intro of, okay, well, Melissa's going through something. What is it? And is it just one more diagnostic to add to the list? Well, not exactly. Well, yes and no, but the thing is that the list isn't what we thought it was. So essentially, a lot of the things that I was diagnosed with were things that seemed like what they were. Example, like I mentioned with the ADHD, which simply was not. They would just, or even the bipolar part where it was considered that maybe I might have been having mania. That was not. I was not experiencing mania. It was mania-like. So my list isn't getting extremely huge. We're just realizing how much it's shorter, and that it's just this one, mostly this one thing, to kind of explain it. So I do have Tourette syndrome. I do have an eating disorder, and what else would be real diagnosis that I would have said before? OCD. I do have OCD. But to not drag this out longer, and I'm pretty sure the title says it anyway, so I guess you guys aren't going to brag on me for making you wait. My current state of what I am now known to be experiencing is it's called dissociative identity disorder. Whereas before, if you don't know what that term means, but by the title maybe you do, it implies what used to be called multiple personality disorder. This is often considered to be like, whoa, okay, so demons, just like Tourette syndrome. Like, okay, so if anyone's gonna like come at me with offers to for an exorcism or watch this perfect video or perfect series of videos that will cure your Tourette syndrome, cure your dissociative identity disorder, I'm not interested. I will say so right off the bat. I do not believe that this is demon possession. What this is a it's mental health. It's a fracturing of the mind that is caused by repetitive trauma to a very small child. There's no other way for this to happen. An adult cannot develop this. They can simply not know that they have it for a very long time and miss the signs and be living with, you know, alternate personalities without necessarily realizing that they are. So that was my case. I lived for like ever, because I'm an old lady now. Well, I gotta say, and I lived forever, not knowing what this was, and often attributing some of these things to tics. For example, if some of my critics back in the days of my video for Tourette syndrome on the bus, where I was sitting in the back of a car, and then in the bus depot, and I had these yelling tics and movement tics, and those were real. But then what I thought were tics weren't. Was this yelling at the tics, where I thought it had to be a tic because, well, I didn't do it on purpose. So if you look back at that video, Tourette syndrome on the bus, or Tourette's on the bus, you will see what I didn't realize then and thought had to be tics were actually manifestations of a very angry alternate personality who traditionally, and honestly not just traditionally, just always only yells at me. So, how did I find out about this? Well, the long way and the hard way. I mean, I was having a lot of different symptoms. Um, I was a lot of weird things were happening. I was calling it cognitive mind fire. I was calling it mania. I was calling all these different weird states as some kind of like label, but not necessarily knowing what they were. And my psychiatrist told me, you know, it's not mania. Um, you're dissociating. And I was like, what? Me dissociating? I suppose that I dissociate. I mean, what? And I didn't get it, so I kept walking out of his office thinking it was mania. And then, so when it got more clear, I had been hospitalized, and so I wanted to see my file. I was like, you know what? If it's mania, I want to know if it's mania. I want to know what's happening. So then I said, no, I want to see my file. So he had to show me everything that was in my file. By law, it's my patient right to see what's in my file. So he reads a few things, and I'm like, okay, what? I'm curious about whatever, and then I get my response about it. But then he gets to one line where he says that he thought that I have alternate personalities. And I immediately, in absolute agonizing like distress, rise from my seat and just like, no, that's not what she is. That's not what any of them are. And I just, no, she's in the mirror. She's in the mirror. She's not me. And I just caved. I literally caved. My body just sank to the desk, and I felt like I died there. And what happened next was someone else got up and within me and started running around the chair while saying, I'm running around the chair. And then they say, wee, as they plant their butt down on the chair. And then they go away. And then, and I remember all of this, by the way. I didn't at the time when I walked out of the office, but afterwards, like a few days later, I remembered what happened because anyways. So after that, I got very sullen, and actually someone got very sullen, and the doctor asked, how do you feel? And a very sullen voice said, small. So I thought I wasn't understanding my own metaphor, but now I understand that it was, this individual that has spoken before, even in French, saying petite, is a very small person. And then another switch was falling over the desk laughing for no freaking reason at all. So I don't know what that laughing was about, but it was very untriggered, and that would be another identity that wasn't me. And then when I left the office, I was thinking, wow, it's got to be mania. Where's the pills? So I was very protected that day because I was in incredible distress. And by hearing that he thought there was alternate personalities, I flipped my shit. The distress level was beyond what I could tolerate. Therefore, what happened was I was protected in a sense, and they helped me to not remember what he said, and they helped me not remember what they did until days later. So I'm grateful to them, and I'm realizing all kinds of things about them now, and how many we are, and pop up. I'm realizing a lot of things about them and about living with them, and moving on and finding out that this diagnosis kind of means that now that I have an answer to what's going on, I actually have a chance. And it's not all gloom and gloom, and that something actually can be good that comes from this. And I'm in psychotherapy. I have the help that I'm hoping that will make a difference. I pop-ups all over the place. My computers. So I'm saying that this isn't necessarily a negative thing. It just means that things have always been this way. I just didn't know that they were. And now that they are this way, and I know they're this way, and I feel like more and more of I'm not gonna call it manifestation because that sounds like demon possession, but more and more of them of identities coming to the surface and living through me. Um, I'm feeling more like I can adjust to it and figure it out now more than I could before, because it's just always been that way. It's always been this. So now I just know that it's this, and now I can relate to what I'm going through finally, and it's not an easy thing, and people don't get that that it's not easy, and that can't just dismiss it. I mean, a lot of people, the suicide rate for people with dissociative identity disorder is 70%, 70%. It is a tough thing. We get lost in the system before being diagnosed, before finally finding out what's going on. But now, we know what's going on, and I think that that's very encouraging. So I think that instead of being discouraged by this and concerned for me, and maybe I know that a lot of you are concerned for me based on the previous videos, I think that you don't have to be concerned, because what was going on was pretty much dissociation. I was altering states where a part of me, we could say a part of me was concerned with something, and they felt like they had to bring it up and address it, and bring hope and tears of hope, and there's nothing wrong with that. They were just very very they might have seemed a bit drugged, but they weren't. I wasn't drugged, and in that state I wasn't drugged. I was it was dissociation basically, and I was okay, and I am still okay, and you don't have to worry about me. I know what's going on, and I'm grateful that you care, and I'm sorry if there's been a lot of negativity. I don't mean for there to be negativity. I really want things to be positive. So thank you for watching all this time. Thank you for putting up with me. Thank you for watching this video all the way to, what is it now, 12 minutes. I will not be chopping this up. I'm just gonna sail it out there and hope for something good, and hope for some understanding, and that finally some of these answers might be some answers for you too. And feel free to leave me a comment. I love comments. I read all of them. I appreciate all of you. I want to give a shout out to my patrons. Just last minute, patrons of Patreon. They fund my channel through donations every month. You can find that link in the description to see what you can do as a patron. But I just wanted to thank my patrons, because they really stick around, and they don't give up on me, and I feel a lot of I mean, just like you guys don't, obviously, but I mean, I want to give that kind of extra notch of recognition for their corner. So I hope that's okay, and I hope you all know, regardless of whether you're on my Patreon or not, that you're very very appreciated. And I any thumbs up, any comments, any just views, any kind of like just wow, taking the time to watch Melissa still after all this time. Thank you.